My name is J.S. Williams Jr. Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. If you've seen the first video, you know I was rudely interrupted by people talking too fucking loud and pissing me off. So I want to talk to you about me finally finishing my graphic novel today being April the 17th. I still hope it's still April the 17th. I've been having a really shitty week. So either way you slice it, I've given you the numbers of what I have written and done in my external plans, hoping that everything works out in my favor. So, as I was saying, I took Native American legends, I took Japanese legends like the Orokonai. I'm not gonna say it right. It's a damn turtle demon. And put a switch on it. I bought in the fox fairies from Chinese legends. I bought in fairies in general, because yes, I like fairies. I bought in unicorns, I changed their colors. I bought in dragons. Y'all know I love dragons. I bought in just about every mythical creature you can probably think of. I bought in the harpies. And I bought in some other things from other legends. I can't remember what they are right now, but so that I don't spoil it, when you read it, you'll figure it out. So I'm going to do all this crap, and hopefully by the end of the summertime, if I'm blessed, my Mac will be fixed, because I have to save up money again, because I used it for something else. If I can get up enough money to get my Mac fixed, then all of my videos, I will find 1 week during the whole summer to sit at home and not shower and just fucking post. Or if I'm really blessed and I still got friends at the Clemens Library, I'll just go up there and ask one of them to just upload it to my site, and I'll let them keep it overnight and just have somebody just upload all of them at the same time and just let the desk sit there, and if I have to pay them, so be it. So let's get back on the regular track, because I was so interrupted that I got pissed off and kind of went off a little bit. If I can get everything done, I got to take this to work tomorrow to leave with Eddie so that he can price everything and let me know how much it's going to cost to get everything put on a flash drive to put it up on the internet. Alright, so what I did was I took a whole bunch of tragedies and legends and just clusterfucked them together, and hopefully everything is going to turn out to be a great book so that all of you guys can read it. Now the book is called Love 13, which is an acronym, and it is an acronym for Legion of Vengeful Enchantress. Now, you can't have men being enchantress. Okay, in a perfect world, you can't have men being an enchantress. So there isn't a male team, they're just not enchantress. But you can have women as Shangri-La guardians, as well as men. And so I do have Shangri-La is mentioned in there. Everybody knows about Shangri-La. So they don't know about my Shangri-La. So I put a twist on it. And I took a bunch of Native Americans legends and I put a twist on it. And everything basically that ever been told that I know, being 42 years old, I took and put my own spin, twist, whatever you want to call it. I did all that to up the ante so that it will give you something to read. And the good news is every location in the story is in Virginia and Canada, and I think maybe 3 places that I haven't actually been in real life. But in the first opening thing that gets everything, I didn't find this out until I got into maybe the 2nd or 3rd chapter that I made something happen in an actual place that I haven't been, and then I read it and I found out that this place does really exist. Not Shangri-La, but there's a scene in my graphic novel where the person who gets in the incident that becomes the main bad guy, she actually is there. She's a female version of Bear Grylls. That was the only way I can support Bear Grylls, because I like Bear Grylls, and I wanted to see why we don't have any females like Bear Grylls. So I flipped it up, made a female Bear Grylls, and she became the main character of the show, story, whatever. And then when you read it, you'll figure out what's going on. But that place where the incident happens that makes her go from being a normal person to being the person that she becomes, that leads the show on, it does exist. I named it something, and I was so close to it that it fucked me up. But it's basically the Wolf Mountains in China. So that tells you where everything kind of begins. Because I'm I'm a real buff on legends and everything, and everybody should know that. And if you don't know, spoiler alert: Shangri-La is actually an Asian legend. Most likely, it's between Mongolia and China. It's one of those Asian spots that was in Asian fairy tales, but I think it might actually have been a mythical city. So everybody's always been questing for the Fountain of Youth, so I added that in there. And I have a very funny thing about that. Everybody throughout time, in space, in centuries, since mankind has gotten away from slavery and exploring and all this other stuff, have always been searching for the Fountain of Youth, and there's just one problem. They came to the wrong country looking for it. The Fountain of Youth is not in America. It's always been over in Asia, just no one wanted to know about it. And here's your proof of life. Have you ever seen Asians age? Asians tend to hold their age very well. Certain people outside of Asians, like blacks and some whites, hold our ages well. And we age well. Well, there's legends that the Fountain of Youth actually existed. And if you think about it, 1 in 16,000, I think, people are related to Genghis Khan. That's right. He's been everywhere. So he's been through Europe. He's been all over Asia. He's even been through Africa. It's not really mentioned at what part or whatever. But anyway, if 1 in 16,000 people in the world, and there's millions of us, or billions of us, is related to Genghis Khan on a DNA level, this could explain why some of us hold our age well. But as a person who strongly believes in myth and legends and not really trying to join Mythbusters if they still exist, but I would love to do the one with the guy with Jahil where they went to go find the Chinese creatures and all that shit. But anyway, back to the point. The Fountain of Youth, I believe, is why Cortez went to South America to try and find it and conquer the Incans, the Mayans, the Aztecs. Well, the thing is, since I've said this 8 billion times, I'll say it 8 billion and one. Native American tribes all came out of Asia. This was given to me by a priest's son who was Korean, etc., etc. And Quan, if you're out there, thank you for the knowledge. So, in learning this, I had deduced that when I made this story, the Fountain of Youth will be in Asia. Shangri-La is in Asia. But I made it so that it would be in a part of Asia that no one has remotely ever really been to. And you would have to have a special ability to actually see it and go to it. But to the normal people, you walk right past it and you would never see it because you could never pass the penetrating field, etc., etc. You guys will figure it out when you read the damn thing. But anyway, if you concentrate and if you think hard enough about all these myths that we seem to know about, go ballistic about, or try to learn and try to prove people wrong, or that people are freaking crazy and whatnot, you will understand some of the things that I clearly wrote about in here for the simple fact that, no one can prove that myths and legends don't exist. Because there's too many people out here trying to prove that myths and legends do exist. So you have to be on both sides of the fence if you're going to read this graphic novel. Which is cool, You're all going to be entitled to formulate your opinion. And whatever that may be, I accept it. Because the one thing you can never change about anybody is their opinion of you or anyone else for that matter. All you can do is accept it, deal with it, and move forward. If you're not a very good sport, then you're just going to have to deal with whatever the hell people think of you. Kind of like liquid Band-Aids. I like them. Most people don't. I can't make them like liquid Band-Aids if they don't. It's kind of like that. Wear a condom, don't wear a condom. The consequences of that is, well, you can knock a chick up, or you can catch something that you can't get rid of. So, before I close this out, practical thinking. It's one of the things that I do best. Because if you don't think logically in life, you can have illogical consequences that can come back to bite you in the arse. No one wants to have consequences come back and bite them in the arse. Alright, so in knowing that, what do? You think logically, and you try to find answers until you can find out if you're right or wrong. It's really kind of a relative to what I'm blogging about. If you could prove Shangri-La exists, which many people have tried, if you could prove the Fountain of Youth exists, would you tell anybody? Would you go there? Would you stay there? Would you come back? It's just all one of those relatively logical questions that you would probably have to ask yourself just to find out what would you do if you could find the world's secrets and make money. Now, the thing with this is that it's an autobiographical fantasy. The key word to that was fantasy. So if you're gonna read it, remember that it's a fantasy. Nothing is like really gonna happen to Charlottesville. The place gets like decimated at one point in the story, and everything goes back to normal. It's a long thing, and I'm not gonna ruin it for you because I want everybody to read it. I want everybody to love it. I want everybody to love me, and I want everybody to just think about the possibilities of these things. Because as of late, no one has ever come forward with telekinetic powers, but yet they have been proven that telekinetics and psychokinetics do exist. So if these powers exist, how do you know if Bigfoot and all these other creatures do not? You cannot say. There are people who believe in ghosts. And if you believe in ghosts, there you go. So I'm going to close out with this, because I strongly believe in myth and legends, and I'm not going to try to sway you to my beliefs, because that's not a possibility. I'm not a cult leader, so swaying you to my beliefs doesn't change the fact of what is and what is not, because sooner or later you're going to believe what you want, which can lead to rebellion, and if you're going to rebel, I would like to be very much aware of where that knife's coming, because it's either going to come to my back or straight to the face. So, in closing, it's Love 13. It's an acronym. It means Legion of Vengeful Enchantress. Now, there are other teams in there that you will read about. I'm not going to give you any of their names because I want you to read it so you can find out. It's about rich people. It's about poor people. It's about Asian people, black people, white people, Native American people. It's about everybody. There's somebody in every ethnicity in this thing, and basically it takes places in every city that I've practically been to in my life, or places that I want to go to, which I've done research on because I haven't gone to Stonehenge, but it's in the book. I have gone to Toronto, but I haven't gone to Vancouver, and they're both in the book. I've been to Waynesboro and probably every primary city here in Charlottesville. Or in Virginia. They're in the book. I've been to California, more than willing to go, but I think it's in the book. I'm not going to swear to it. New York's definitely in the book. Been in New York. Been to a whole bunch of cities in New York. Not that I can remember them, and not that they all really count, but I've touched on places that I intended on going or have been. And finally, I haven't been to China. But, I've touched on things in China that I didn't know existed. And just before I even researched it, I had already wrote the shit out. And then when I researched, it's like, oh my God, I've described it directly like I've seen it. I started writing this thing about a year ago. So it's been about a year. I thought I could finish it. I started writing it after I had some issues and I had to go see Dr. Bishop, who I thank you very much, Dr. Bishop. I've also dedicated this book to you and a few other choice people. And that's all in the dedications and acknowledgement. You'll all be able to read that. And also, I started it before my hip surgery, and I finished it. So I think it's been a year and a half. Yeah, it's been about a year and a half because I've had my hip surgery last year. I'm still slightly recovering. I haven't really done any exercises because I'm scared, and they haven't given me any exercises to actually do. But so it took me almost 2 years to get this thing completely done because I got the writing and I just couldn't fucking stop. And then I kept trying to end it, but I wound up like going deeper into details and all kinds of other stuff. So you'll get it. All the people who aren't human talk in different colors, and all the humans talk in blue, and it's narrated in black. So if the manuscript ever actually gets republished in whatever, whoever gets that, they'll have that, or they'll make Xerox copies and I'll have it. Somewhere along the way I'll work out some kind of deal. Well, anyway, My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. And I want to thank you guys very much for paying attention to me. And good night.